This is Forza Motorsport 7. This is available through Xbox Game Pass, and it is a Xbox Play Anywhere title. That means you can buy it once digitally on Windows 10 or Xbox One and own it on both places. So with that, this is Xbox One X Enhanced. We're getting a native 4K resolution at 60 FPS with HDR support, with VRR support. And yeah, it's kind of great to be jumping in here and taking a look at this entry in the series. The reason for doing so is the release on Game Pass and the fact that I had initially done a video review of this on the Xbox One base console back in the day because I didn't have the One X yet when this game was releasing, so that's kind of interesting. And yeah, the game is an absolute stunner. It's great to see them being pushing this game towards being something on Game Pass and actually allowing it on Xbox Cloud Gaming, which is what xCloud used to be. So it's really neat that they've taken this motorsport entry in the series and sort of made it available everywhere, because I assumed it was going to be sort of phased out due to licensing, but yeah, here we go, and enjoying this really mighty entry in the series. So I lean more towards enjoying the Horizon series because I like the open world style, but I mean the track-based Forza is absolutely fantastic. If you like this competitive style of racing with different perspectives and different ways to play, this is really just an incredible experience. It's very well done. There's a large selection of tracks. They've done a fantastic job improving and advancing the game since launch, because I know there were a number of things that people had issues with, but they really pushed this even further, patched it up, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. A wide selection of vehicles, again a great selection of tracks that are all quite dynamic and just gorgeous to take in. The visual quality of the environments is absolutely miraculous. It's incredible, just really such a stunner to take in as you're driving along, Rio, you're in Dubai, you're in some of the classic tracks, you got all these beautiful cars, different tiers of vehicles too. And it's also got a lot of, single player content you can jump in for quick play, which is really something that I typically enjoy, but they do have some, I guess you could say, mode-based areas for circuits and stuff like that. Drifting, time attacks, all kinds of things. They just really have a large selection of ways to engage it with the game in general as you're going across different modes. So there's 30 famous locations, 200 tracks, race conditions that changed in this one, which was really cool. So you've got day racing, you've got night racing, then there's weathering conditions with a dynamic weather. So that's where it sort of randomly adds rain and changes up the map over the course of the particular race that you're doing, which is really quite cool. Now with that, not every track has these features. Some of them have night, some don't, some have the rain, some don't. You gotta kind of flick through the options in order to find what you're wanting to check out. But I mean, this is a very stable, fluid, really well done experience. It's quite miraculous. There's also multiplayer online for up to 24 players where you can do more fun types of racing, or you can do competitive racing. The choice is really quite up to you, which is obviously excellent. So there's just like a massive selection of cars and ways to race and compete. It's a lot of fun. It's also something that is quite accessible. You don't have to be the best player in the world to come out and have a great time in this. You can customize the experience to be easier, or you can make it a little bit more harder. And I think that's really great, to find a balance that works for you and your desire of enjoyment, or maybe more of a hardcore challenge as you compete against the drivatars that take on various individuals from around the world. So it's nice to see that system fine-tuned and delivered here. Yeah, what an absolutely incredible experience where everything just flies by and looks amazing as you've been seeing this whole time through it. It just really is a stunner. Even like a couple years down the road, I'm thoroughly impressed by what it's able to deliver even at this point. It's just kind of stunning, the details on the vehicles, the texturing and the environment, how everything loads so almost flawlessly, and then like the reflections and stuff too on the cars are particularly exciting and enticing, especially when you go underneath. I don't know if I've shown a couple of those clips thus far, but when you're underground, you're seeing the lights and the reflections. It's really quite amazing. Also, the whole dynamic weather thing is just incredible to witness as you're driving along and suddenly you see some raindrops and it might get heavy or it might be light, and seeing the sky change. It's really well done, and everything in the environment too just feels dynamic and lively. Like there's all these little things going on, but at the center focus of it, you're driving along on this track. You're doing so at a blistering 60 FPS with a native 4K quality. It's quite unbelievable, and on top of that, you're getting all of the enhanced specs and options for enjoying this type of game. And I think they've created something, where you're getting over 700 vehicles, you're getting a ton of maps, you're enjoying all this content that they've added, and it's something that obviously has a bit of longevity to it to be able to jump in at this time and still be almost blown away by it, and making it look like it's a brand new game the entire way through. So it's great that more individuals will be able to jump in on this. And it is, again, quite competitive if you want it to be. This is track-based racing, which is a bit, I guess you could say, almost traditional for a racing game, at least as far as games go, competing on whatever setup you want for your laps and your dimensions and your targets, the number of racers. You really do get to choose. And I think that's kind of fun, having that balance where it is something that can be simulation or something that can be more arcadey. You can have fun bumping around, or you can have fun trying to have a clean, good race. And there's lots of people that fall into either side of that, and you can do it across some absolutely gorgeous tracks. Because even this one here in Dubai is just absolutely amazing to take in, like the amount of depth and style with the environment, the little particle effects that flare up, and the screeching of the tires, the competition of all the different vehicles. To do all of this on the console is just really, truly an impressive feat. This one still, technically to this day, blows me away. There's very few games that were able to, deliver at this quality and make it feel good and fun. Because again, I'm not really someone that's too into track-based racing games. They can be fun, I can enjoy them, but the Horizon series, the open roads and stuff, are just an absolute treat. And this one is still very competitive to that. It's kind of neat to see them push the technology back and forth over time. Turn 10 and Playground, it's kind of enjoyable. And I mean, they trade off and help each other and stuff, but you get the gist of what I'm going for when I'm talking about this one. It's just such an authentic racing game. It delivers so much content, cross-play, the cross-progression. It's just really well done, a complete and full experience of Forza Motorsport, and I'm very curious to see what they'll do with the series next, because they've already teased what's to come in their next generation version with higher FPS options, more intense sort of ray tracing implementation. But for now, we've got a really mighty option that really does deliver so much content. It does load pretty fast on this one too. I remember that being a thing. The loading and setting things up, and you can just keep rotating across all the different modes. You can just jump into play now and enjoy maps and swap between the weather and conditions, pick different cars. And I know I've kind of shown the same car the whole way through, but it's a fast, nice vehicle. It kind of shows off the game well, and little bits of cosmetic damage you can have on or off as well as that, and the mighty rewind feature if you need it, where you're able to go back if you mess up. I do actually, from this game series, consider that to be an almost essential part of, racing titles nowadays. I just sort of expect to have that available, and I think it really is because of this series. It's a nice touch to have for someone that wants something a little bit more easygoing, especially those that aren't the best at racing games. It just helps that it's accessible, and this is a game that can be available easily for all and enjoyed by many, because this is really probably the best motorsport-esque racing experience out there on the market still at this point. It's amazing, it looks great, it glows at every moment. The visual quality is, unmatched when it comes to racing titles. And that is Forza Motorsport 7, available again through Game Pass, which is great. That's why I'm checking it out. Xbox One X enhanced, play anywhere, and enjoy it across console, or through streaming, which is kind of cool. It delivers a lot, and it's a lot of fun to play.